evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Movies on Our Minds. On this show, we get to talk about movies such as action, comedies, thrillers, dramas, fantasy, but specifically the movie that is on all of our minds. And the movie that we're thinking about today is the latest alien film, Arrival. Arrival is a film about a linguist who is recruited by the military to assist in translating alien communications, and honestly, the movie just takes off right then and there. The film is directed by Denis Villeneuve and stars Amy Adams, Jeremy Renner, and Forrest Whitaker. Now, before we get started, I'd like to introduce my guest. We have the anime talk host himself, Maza.
Hey everybody, how you guys doing?
Maza, how you doing?
I'm feeling pretty great. Glad to be working right now.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Talk about movies. What about you, Malik? How are you doing today?
Lester. I'm kidding. I'm good. I'm also from the anime talk. Got my man Maza here, just leading the charge. I'm following that stampede, but I'm pretty good today. How about you?
Oh man, I cannot complain, man. It's Arrival. That was something.
We have arrived.
Right. And we also have Kevin.
How you doing?
How are you doing, Kevin?
I am cold, but I'm okay. Let's get this on the way.
All right.
No, thank you. I'll be fine.
All right, y'all. So let's jump into this. We are going to talk about the characters and actors. How did y'all think they did?
I thought it was fantastic. I love Forrest Whitaker and just about anything he does. He always plays like an interesting character. Like he was doing a little short miniseries, Roots or whatever.
Yeah, I saw
he played the fiddler. I thought that was interesting. Every movie, everything he's in, it's always something interesting. Or let's watch it to get a different spin on the characters. I like it. Jeremy Renner, that little smart nerdy guy. You know, that's a big takeaway from Hawkeye.
I feel like Superman's gonna be pretty upset. Hawkeye's stepping up on his girl, you know.
Yeah, man, Lois Lane, what are you doing?
Superman's gonna be pretty mad.
Come back to Warner Brothers, man. Playing. I like these actors. I think they portray pretty well.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Amy Adams, she did an exceptional job pulling me in to make me feel like, she's a stranger in this world. She has no idea what she's doing, but she's gonna do her job. And there was only one little scene that kind of threw me off, and it was the scene where she where she was sucked into the shit, when she went into the same space that the aliens were in. I was like,
and they were just adjusting the atmosphere for her.
I could have did that a little better, but as a whole, you did pretty great.
Pretty great.
Amy McAdams stole the show.
Amy McAdams?
Amy Adams stole the show.
I know you think of Rachel.
No.
Oh. No. Oh. I'm sorry. What about Jeremy Renner? How did you think he did in the movie?
He said he played a nerd.
I thought
he did a good job playing a nerdy, smart guy.
Don't feel like his part really wasn't.
He wasn't that. But
I understand that you feel like he was unnecessary, but he was the glue that held it all together.
He put it down, gorilla style.
If he wasn't there,
it wouldn't be. Nothing would happen.
But nobody would figure out how to realize that time is non-linear.
So it's a math thing. He was there for the mathematical side.
So what, does the glory all go to Hawkeye?
Yeah.
Like Age of Ultron?
She brought the piece of paper and pencil. He spelled lit. That's what makes the movie.
Right, exactly.
He spelled lit. That's what makes the movie.
I would think it'd be the other way around.
Yeah, these are the words. This is what.
I like how it was a code thing. It wasn't just this person's the main character, but this person's really important. It had a Naruto Sasuke thing going on. It was
man. It was walking Ichigo.
Somebody's
walking Ichigo Rukia.
All right.
Anime talk.
Oh God.
We're here.
Anyway,
I do like the fact that it's really centered around her. I get for the most part centered around her.
Yeah.
But he's a super supportive character that really pushes her character development up there, and I appreciate stories like that where it's not up to them to do everything. They need help, and he was just enough help to get the story progressed. I like that.
I like how it wasn't typical when it starts to begin with her daughter. You think that's her past, and then it picks up from there. Then we find out that was actually just her future and all that, and you really didn't see that coming. And you see how
I saw it coming. You know why? Because I know time isn't linear.
But I'm talking about when the movie first starts, you gonna see it coming. But also you start seeing small hints as the movie goes about Ian and Louise's relationship, and about how that was actually their child. When the child came in asking for that. Well, The child came in asking for about a turn where both sides win, but nobody gets anywhere, and she said it was like not a win-win situation, but a 9-sum game.
No-sum game.
No-sum game.
Yeah.
And it came from him when he said it. It was like, oh, this is how this works. Wow.
Because I was thinking too. We'll get to that. Let's just stick with the characters and actors. So you believe Forrest Whitaker did his thing, came in general,
My only problem.
Did what they needed to do. Is really all about Amy Adams.
My only problem was that voice. Forrest Whitaker thought he was gonna play me by coming in with that whatever voice let's get started.
Doing that accent.
Who are you talking to?
This one guy we didn't talk about.
I
really liked him.
1 and 2.
Military Soldier A. The guy talking to his girlfriend. Everything's gonna be okay. Everything's okay, babe. Like, that was really funny. Also, Heptapod B. He was the homie.
A just stood there, had his back. What's up, fam?
It was dope, bro. It was dope. Yeah. And she was all like, "No, that's an introduction." Yeah, bro. It was.
I'm mad at myself for that.
What about the Chinese general?
Right.
That actor, I'm not entirely sure what his name was. I've seen him in a lot of.
He has a name.
He's always in something like pretty. He's always done something pretty great. Like he's in whatever project he's in is pretty like I like it. It's pretty fantastic. And him as an actor, whatever character he's portraying is like either they're fearsome or they're generally like the nice guy, whatever. But their backstories to their characters, or their character, how they're introduced, are pretty like savage and awesome. He played he wasn't even a mean general. He was just like. I'm gonna protect the race. If I gotta do it myself,
I'm not mean. I'm just.
If it's gotta be just me to pop it off, I'm doing it.
If I gotta start this single-handed war, if I gotta be the only person on the side fighting for humanity,
I'm doing
it.
Like, I like that guy. I need to find out his name. I like that guy.
But he was very gung-ho, that's for sure.
Now, do you think Amy Adams deserves an Oscar for this performance? Was it that good? Because everybody's saying there's some Oscar buzz going on for her.
I would like to point out, I personally don't understand awards and stuff. I know that they're important. I just don't see the value in them. But
did her performance?
It moved me. It was
not just move you, but it carried the film, which was already good enough.
Whatever awards that are given out, I feel like she deserves at least one.
Okay, hell, you said best actress awards.
That's what she would be up
over
for.
all the other movies that came out. I definitely gotta wait until Star Wars Rogue One to come out before we make the decision.
To see Felicity Jones.
I'm too big of a Star Wars fan to not give that a chance. And
who do you think in that
personally
is going to be nominated?
Felicity Jones.
Felicity Jones. I lost my mind about
Daisy Ridley.
I'm sorry, Force Awakens. I love powerful female lead characters, and I saw Rogue One was gonna be led by her, and I was like, I gotta pay attention to this because it's always a different spinoff from a classic guy leads the charge versus a woman leading the charge. It's a different perspective on something. And everybody gave Force Awakens a bunch of crap because it was a female lead and it turned out to be fantastic. And she has a future as far as her acting and her character. Her character is really fantastic.
Okay.
So I'm going to look forward to this before I make that. But I really think in the running, she's up there. Amy's really up there for that.
I say no because unfortunately, when it comes to these award shows, they really go over the movies that are aimed at nerds when it comes to serious acting because they really don't see that.
Yeah.
So it has to be a really dramatic performance, such as when Jennifer Lawrence was in American Hustle or when Lupita Nyong'o was in 12 Years of a Slave. Mm-hmm. It has to really be something like kind of gut-wrenching that really, like, as you said,
don't
carries
feel like
the film.
she did that?
Amy Adams, yes. Felicity, whoever.
Jones.
We gotta wait.
You haven't seen it.
And Brie Larson in Room and all that. So you have to kind of look at that kind of work, that kind of art form. That's what you have to really see being nominated. Does Amy Adams have it? In my opinion, yes. But I also don't exactly know who else would be nominated first.
We'll see when that time comes.
It's almost here.
All right, now let's get into the plot and structure and the story itself. What did y'all think of Arrival on that term?
Okay.
It was a thinking man's movie.
It really was.
And I'm not a thinking man. No, I'm kidding. Like, I thought... So, like he was saying earlier, where it's like, it was really taking an interesting turn where you realize, like, at the beginning, like, it's really not the beginning. It's, like, really more like...
The middle.
Like, what we're seeing at the very beginning is really the future and not the past. Like, because when you see it, you think it's like, oh, this is backstory. This is trying to make us get an understanding of character, which it did, because it gave us an understanding of her as a person. But when you get the actual understanding that it's really the future, it puts a whole new layer of like,
wow.
to it, and it's like just wow. It's just like just so much. There's just so much. I don't even know what to say. Like it was exceptional.
It was very mind-boggling.
I really loved it.
It was mind-boggling.
I love
it. Was very
because
it was complex. That was the good thing about it. That it was able to be complex without being confusing. That's usually hard to pull off.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a very great way to put it.
99%.
Especially this director. He directed Prisoners, didn't he?
He sure did. Prisoners, Sicario.
I thought I have not. I've seen bits and pieces of Sicario. Prisoners in and of itself is one of my favorite movies because it left me like, what am I supposed to do now? Like I'm at the point where I love watching some movies, and I love watching anything where I can immerse myself with that character. Let me put myself in that character's shoes. And in Prisoner, I was at loss by the end of it when I felt confused and I was like, I feel betrayed now. And I was like, I realized I just got pulled into that movie.
For this to be an alien film, did you feel like this was probably one of the most realistic alien films? Like you could see this happening, and you could see the characters reacting the way they did?
Because like in most alien-based movies, we get like, all right, cool, aliens show up. First thing we do is attack.
Independence Day, you know.
But like to be realistic, the first thing we do is not gonna attack. The first thing we're gonna do is get ready to attack, but we won't attack. Like we'll first be diplomatic. We'll try and communicate to see if they are like hostile towards us. We're just gonna like we will eventually need like for the most part we'll try to show a force if it becomes necessary. And in the movie they felt like it was necessary, so they began to show a level of force. But as it starts very diplomatic. Like let's try to see why they're here. Let's see if we can get some information from it, because space travel, that's what we want as a species. We want to be able to travel the stars and potentially colonize other places. So like it going very diplomatic from the start, and then progressing, and like just the scene where Luis.
You cannot forget these character names.
Luis.
How many times?
Right, every time, bro.
But only those two characters' names. Because what was Forrest Whitaker's character's name?
Forrest Whitaker.
It's not, but okay, that's what I'm
General.
Yeah, so like
General.
I thought the Asian guy was General, but okay.
But like when Luis first went into it, like her first experience, she had all the little equipment on, and it's like literally they just wasted that entire time that they were in there because she just needed a moment to understand.
Those are aliens.
Aliens. In front of
like to touch on that some, like as far as you saying like realistic wise, that is like Independence Day. That's fight. We gotta get them off this planet. And this is like what happens right before you start fighting. And I love the fact that some people will say, well, it took too long, they're trying to understand and whatever, let's get to some of this action. It's not about the action, it's about understanding. Can you sit there as a viewer or can you be in a situation and understand the concept of communicating other languages? If you go get dropped off in China, how are you gonna, like I love what Jim Morena's character, Ian, what he said something about when the person gets their brain entirely rewired when you get introduced to something like that. And you'll tend to forget.
In a culture.
And like that's just like I said, if you dropped off in China, you would almost forget English because you're not speaking it with anybody, and you'll pick up what they're saying. So I like how as they progress to try to communicate with each other, they begin to understand what each other is saying, even though the other species is still responding back in their language. We as humans can now speak to them in their language, so we understand what's going on. And by the end of the movie, I'm impressed by how immersive at least the thought process of communication is. It ain't just about fighting. I can understand you now. Now we've reached some common ground. You guys are from the other side of
who knows where.
Right.
But we can speak to each other. And love action films, love all that. But this is one of the first few films where I was content to just understand what's going on.
Just to sit back
the setting of it was the biggest part. And in this particular movie, I could accept if something was slow paced, because they're like, well, I understand this. You as a viewer, I need you to understand this before I move on.
Which they didn't really touch. Well, they did that, but it wasn't as forceful. Like towards the end, where it's like, "Do you want to have a baby?" Is that what he says?
Yeah,
like,
do you want to have a baby?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's like literally for the 2% audience members out there. Like, wait, do they get together?
Right.
Like,
Like,
nobody cares about
Come
that.
on, like that was.
I got it.
A long time
Okay.
ago. So that's one of the few flaws I have. Another flaw that I was thinking of, it's not really a main flaw. Did y'all notice how pointy Lois Lane's nose was? I don't know why, but it was like she was good. Then when she turned to the camera, you just see all of that.
Like eraser
I was
pointy or
like,
like bayonet pointy? What kind of pointy?
Bayonet pointy.
I can't,
bro, like two soldiers, bro. Like she walks by, bro. Did you
See her
pointing?
nose?
Did you
It's
see
like,
her nose?
oh, really?
Wait, the aliens is coming. Be quiet.
Everything else in this film, that's what you saw.
I mean, it just made me think of Cindy Lou Who from The Grinch. Like she grew up because Cindy was so smart in that movie
Oh my
too.
God.
And then she would grow. She's like, everyone getting all kabobble. You're 6 years old and you know these
Kabobble!
Okay, so to answer your question, no,
And
I
then-
did notice her
And then,
nose.
how smart she is when she came up with that story at the beginning with the general. Just tell him this.
Kangaroo?
Yeah.
Aborigines or whatever. The English came over there and they met them. And they pointed to a creature when it said someone said kangaroo,
Like,
and it took all these years to find out that kangaroo means I don't understand.
Yeah, like
And she was like, "Yeah, I just made that up." And I was sitting there thinking, like, "Whoa, does that really mean I'm stupid?"
right, like legit. Like I was like, wait, really? That's what
I felt
really?
mentally
I don't know.
assaulted. Like
and it was like
my mental stability was challenged.
I was like, bro, she's doing it.
She's lit.
She's doing it.
For that, I'll give her an Oscar. For that,
Yeah, yes,
that's the best scene in 2016.
Just take
wow.
it. Just take
Besides,
it. Besides all of Moana.
Yeah, besides Moana, yeah.
and Kubo.
Something that caught my attention was when the aliens sent her an Uber half a mile down on the ground.
It's a lift.
Sent her a lift to half a mile on the ground, brought her up, gave her all the information that she needed, and when she came down and she left the pod, as she was walking back towards the military, everybody was just running past her, like,
Right.
nobody's
Like,
going to stop her.
get on the
nobody's
ground
gonna
right
Get on the
now.
ground. You just committed an act of treason. Down. Get down on the ground.
I don't know.
We are at war with these aliens, and you just go talk them secrets. Get down on the ground.
I don't know if they have to do all
Get
that.
down
They
on the
They
ground.
did not.
If anything, they should have been like, what just happened? What did they just tell you?
But
again,
okay,
they have
but what if
orders
she
to
told them?
evacuate.
Mazda, what you got?
If she was black, they would have shot her.
Wow.
Oh, he not lying.
Hell, I would have shot her. I'm scared. I'm shot you.
Even
I'm
if
shot Amy Adams right there. That gun would have misfired. I didn't know they had bullets in there. Boy. I'm scared. I immersed myself in this movie. To me, if I'm a soldier, this girl just went up. She didn't get kidnapped. We saw her get
We
picked
saw her
up.
choose to go in there.
Get
bro.
in.
Bro, she telling all our secrets, bro.
How long she been up? She been up there for like 45 minutes.
Bro, she telling them how to beat us. She telling them how to beat us.
They playing tic-tac-toe while I'm worried about my going to see my family. No more boy earlier. It's gonna be okay, baby. I don't say it's gonna kill us. No, I got it. It's gonna be okay. We just blew them up, and they picked her up there. She working with them. We need to lock her up.
Right, exactly.
Or at least get the information that.
Bro, no.
If Guantanamo Bay is built for anything, that's built for people like her who want to communicate with intergalactic beings.
We don't know what happened. Like she literally could have just went up there. All right, cool. So we have our nuclear weapons are here. If you strike them here, we'll all die.
Did she have the information? And if she did, why was she?
I watch E.T. They know that human beings can find out that information. You know, already hacking my brain. They want to be like intergalactic cyborgs up there.
Last thing we heard them say was use weapon. So
Oh my gosh.
they declare war, bro.
Okay.
That's treason.
No.
I'm scared. If for us, it was
Guys.
something different because we were on her
Yeah,
side.
like,
But
yeah, we
for the
saw
average soldier
everything.
there, that's
Okay.
kind of terrifying.
Something else too, besides that, because obviously y'all have no problem with that, or maybe y'all do, but
my
a
issue is
different
different from your
issue with
issue.
it. Yeah, was I thought there was a couple more jump cuts than usual. Like the very first scene where they were in the ship and they saw the aliens and they were so immersed into it, which made me so immersed. Like, whoa! Immediately cut to the shower scene.
Yeah,
I was like,
shower scene. Dude
what
throwing
the-
up. He's like, them aliens were disgusting.
I was like, okay, that's a little odd to go straight to that. Like we were so
It
into
was-
that
I have a
scene.
question.
I took
into
it
the-
as they showed us that they made contact, and that's all they were
And that's
there
all
for.
they
That's
no,
all they
like-
were there for.
I mean,
at that time.
they made contact
yeah.
prior. Like,
No, I know, but not Ian and Luis.
yeah, I felt like that jump cut scene
Mhm.
was basically like, hey, we're here to communicate. She's not ready to communicate. Literally, all she can do is leave.
Start.
So that's all we're doing.
Like, it's a start.
One thing I did want to see, and they didn't have to put it. I'm just being weird. Mm-hmm. I kind of wanted to see them get down. Like they got up there. Yeah. I want to see you kind of run down and jump and kind of like step.
That's one thing I would have loved.
I'm fighting because I don't want to mess up. And I gotta fall
because you in heights.
I done ruined my life. Number one, I done passed out walking down. I done drifted back. Woke up inside the tent. What happened? You passed out again. Alright. If I pass out, I know I'm safe because my buddies are with me. I'm not going up there by myself.
Before you passed out again.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
Why do you even have this job?
Next, I'm sticking. You know what? But if I'm up there, I'm gonna put a little grappling hook somewhere up there. Take that rope down. Get up there. Why's he got that? That's Johnson. He's scared of heights. I hear y'all talking. I'm coming. Oh,
I'm on my way.
Now, the only time I'm okay is like, they're all walking. All right, let's get the stuff. And I'm like, okay, let me get in front of you, bro.
No, bro, you too big.
Just kind of touch me real quick. You too big, bro. Wait, so you talking like we're gonna fall? Like, I need me as a man. I need reassurance in very little things. They all have to do with me being alive. If I'm frightened, I need you to look me in my face. I done been up here all this time. You don't fall. Just turn your body when you get down there. All right, so hold my arm. Let's do this together.
You ready?
You're not gonna see me on a roller coaster in the front by myself.
Right, you ready?
I need you to sit next to me.
Left foot.
Let's do this.
Right
left
foot.
foot, right foot.
Get up there.
That's exactly what they did to Amy too. I don't know about.
Right.
Let's go.
I'm about to
time for this.
To answer your questions, I don't think the jump cuts were abrasive or too sudden or to mess things up.
I thought it was personally, but after a certain amount of time, I was like, okay, it kind of goes with the flow of the film. Like,
I understood it right off the bat.
I do have this one thing that did kind of push me off a little bit, and it was the all the sound. Like, I'm gonna say what I think the word is. I think it's score or all the weird noises in the background. I couldn't tell if it was
score is simply the music, but instruments.
Okay, so I couldn't tell if the sounds going on in the background were just supposed to be like
from
background
the ship
music,
or from the background.
I was like, I don't. No, I'm like, is that supposed to come from the ship? Or is
everybody looking up like, yo, what's up? Is somebody they're about to do
it? Does Luis hear that too, or is it just us?
Most of the time, it was just the score, the music for the viewers.
Okay,
it wasn't really the ship didn't. It was never actually said that the ship put out sounds.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like
I think they were more frightened because I think they were silent. That's why
I think I remember saying something like it doesn't produce any emissions or anything. So like I would assume that it didn't make any sounds either.
The only thing they did was take
it like before they said that I didn't know. So it was like I'm like,
whoa.
That was more.
I just got here. Hold on.
I was more afraid of how tall those ships were.
Eating some of my popcorn. I'm not even halfway through it.
Yeah, because if them aliens were like 6 feet and there was just like a really long little bridgeway. Like,
didn't you say you were upset because they said it was tall?
I said I felt stupid when they said they were 7 feet tall.
Oh, I got something to say
about that. And I thought that was, but then when she got taken in there by the Uber, it was like
the lift.
I saw
it's
the lift, and she saw like, and we saw they were way taller. I was like, oh.
When
I was so naive.
Me as a 6'2", 6'1.5", 6'2" man, you taller than me, you frightening. I'm tall. That's why I'm like, I'm tall. If I look down, I'm far.
They're like 4 miles stacked on top of each other.
Four? Like 7 miles.
Check my boy Richard out. They about 7 of him.
He's only 2 inches taller than you. Come on.
Man, that's tall. Oh my god.
Right. That's still 14 inches.
Bro, he can jump and put his belt on top of my head. I don't want that. That's too much.
Okay.
She walked in a room, and this guy's whole body, the tentacles are already tall, and then you see it looked like he like a tall cologne bottle standing on top of that thing.
His head was all the way up there, and that's like a long.
He had no face,
and
I thought that was that the ominous, the ability to make that look ominous. Like there's no face, there's no nothing. The tentacles down there is where it's communicating with you, but up top is where your focus is. The fact that it was shapeless and formless, that was enough to make it really eerie.
Right.
I got one thing. So like, where they eyes at?
Where?
Come on now.
No, but seriously
Maybe there's another way for them to see without.
Exactly.
I mean, the aliens can do whatever they
You
want.
can't always think about there's going to be some sort of peripheral display that we have that translates to them. So
well, as a human, we gotta expect something to be humanoid. It's easier to accept a humanoid figure.
For me, the head was humanoid enough.
I ain't know what that's called.
With the head way up there?
Yes.
Okay, with that head being way up there, how do you see Louise?
You know what that actually? You know what that made me think of?
What?
When was the last time you seen Chicken Little? The aliens from Chicken Little. You never seen Chicken? Did you see Chicken Little? Did you see Chicken?
Yes.
You seen Chicken Little? Like those aliens that those little trolls were in, but it's like that, but 20 times bigger.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
They that big, they need to go be playing basketball on another planet. You're not finna stand over me like, you know what, man? Don't look down on me. I don't like being looked down on. I gotta look up to you.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm Louise in that situation, I'm in the pod talking to you. I'm on my knee. Hello, sir. Don't hurt me, please.
All right, now another issue that I had, you already know is coming, was when.
Before you jump into that, one more thing I just remembered.
What's up?
If I'm not mistaken, she needed that little clipboard to put together the messages to send to them, right?
Yeah, it held all the.
How was she able to communicate with that big thing? Like, did she just know what to say?
At that point, she had already
she was immersed in the
language.
language.
She learned language
I had
at
to
that
make
point.
sure.
But yeah. Go ahead.
So
go ahead and talk about the scene that we all can explain to you, but you don't want to understand.
Oh my gosh!
Was when
open your mind.
She
you are Dr. Strange,
when she was rushing to call the general from China.
Yeah.
And she was looking into the future. And at first, when I was looking at the scene to where she was looking to the future, talking to the general at the party, I was like, okay, I can understand how this would be realistic. He's like, I'm really here to thank you and everything. I was like, this is not, because you called me at this number, this number right here, number. And you said blah, 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 as my dying wise words and everything. You'll remember, you basically called me at 10:39 p.m. Specific time on Thursday night, December 17th, 1941.
Now you're going so far.
That's exactly how specific it was.
This is what happened, sir. This is what happened. You ready? You remember when we did the thing, right?
What thing? You don't have to do all that. You are the general. You are the president. It's like, thank you. You don't remember? It was blah, blah, blah.
You called me on this phone.
Oh, that sucks. You
called me on this phone.
But it's a private phone.
You called this phone number.
Can I have that phone so I can sell it? You know how much money I'm going to make selling the general's phone?
It was gold. Y'all didn't see that?
Yeah,
why you got money?
And after you called this phone, you
don't you do that?
What you told me, right?
You don't have to go into detail like that. You are the general. Look, basically just saying, look, you already...
Hey, him being a general doesn't matter if his personality is that similar of Kevin's. Because if you don't remember something and you're having a conversation with Kevin, Kevin's going to want you to remember.
Well, he's going to tell you.
He's going to do what he can to help you remember that scene or the moment of time.
Somebody also mentioned, too, that in a way it was like she saw into the future, but that doesn't mean that's going to happen exactly at that point in time because time is linear. So she just saw what she needed to see. She just saw what she needed to see.
But
when that time comes, it won't go down like that.
Exactly. That's what
I was saying. And I'm perfectly fine as long as that future does not happen because that was so convenient. That was like, we got to figure out a way to do this in the script, blah, 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 blah. Bam, all information.
That future's not going to happen. You okay now? You okay now?
My turn.
Future past.
My turn. She wasn't looking into the future.
Where was she looking?
Number one, that would mean she has superpowers. She doesn't have powers.
Dude, they gave her the gift.
No. I don't want you to hold on. I don't want you to think that them giving her that ability to understand
experience time in a non-linear
setting. That does not give her the gift of super foresight. She's not seeing the future. Her perception of the future is happening in the present.
At this point, to her, because nobody else understands heptapod, to her, there is no such thing as future and past because every moment happens at the same time.
So she just saw.
It's like now, you know what you're gonna do next week.
Like you're
right now, you know what you're gonna do next week. That doesn't mean that it's already happened.
I'm gonna say exactly what I'm doing as I'm doing it.
It's your perception. It's your perception. You see it happening.
So it's just a perception, but it just happened to be right because the aliens
the information that she needed.
Okay, look. This is what's happening. Like to us. Okay, so let's say Kevin has that.
Pretend the audience don't know who this man is,
huh?
The audience does not know who this man is.
Okay, pretend Kyle over here.
Okay.
Has the ability to understand heptapod, right?
Okay.
So, we're having our conversation right now.
Okay.
And in 2 weeks, we'll have a different conversation. Okay?
Okay.
Kevin will sit here in that seat for both conversations. Okay? So to us, it'll be a week apart. To Kevin is experiencing both those conversations at the exact same time. because he no longer perceives time as something that continues. It's time is always happening.
It's not something that's gonna happen. It's something that's happening right
the
now.
information I've experienced there, I can pass it along to y'all in the past.
Right. So you could.
Okay, maybe. Here's the thing.
Wait,
I'm not
I have a
saying.
question. Did you see Men in Black 3?
Yes.
So remember the guy who with the thing on his head?
Yes.
How he saw every moment at once.
That.
That's what she has.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is that when she looked into whatever time period that
It was happening.
and the general told her every single thing that she needed to know, I said that's extremely
what you're missing.
convenient.
That's what you're missing. She didn't look into it. It was happening. That's why when he asked, when you called me, and she was like,
I called
what?
you?
Right before she picked the phone, he was like, "What are you talking about?"
Okay, so she's not
He
looking
was
to
like,
a future.
you
She's just
showed
looking to
me-
a different time presence.
She's not looking. It's happening.
It's happening simultaneously.
Yes.
Yes.
It's happening. That's why she looked at her. I called
it's
you
just
on
gonna
what
happen in the
private
future.
number? And he pulled out his phone. This is my private phone. You called me. You don't recall this? No one has this number.
Like right.
And you
like, how
dialed
did
it
you
out
call
of
this?
nowhere.
If like you called this number, no one has this number. How did you?
You told me my dying wife's word. He whispered,
Speaking of which,
he whispered in her
who just
ear.
brings up their number on their phone.
What do you mean?
You know my phone number on my phone.
But that's
It's
the thing.
here.
That-
He
no,
didn't just
but
go
that's
like
the
this.
surprise
He
about
really-
He opened it up and went through it.
That's
He
the
showed
surprise
me.
about it. No one in his country has that phone. That's a secret phone. She from America called him on the ship, ready to blow this thing out
And
of
I
the
understand
air.
how major that is.
And like when he whispered the thing in her ear, I can understand that. Like only you know what your dying wife said, and you're like, you told me the only thing that my
You
wife
told me the one
told
thing
me.
that my wife
You know,
whispered in
the
my
way
ear.
I really saw it is that when the general was telling her everything she needed to know, it's almost as if he knew somehow that he was helping her towards the future. That's the way I perceived it. Like you told me this, and you told me that it's on this number. Now do it now.
I will
because
understand
agree what's going on.
I will agree
That's
with you
how I
that the way the
confused.
scene is structured,
Yes, and that's
it's structured to the point where we need him to speak to her
Yeah.
to get her to call such and such and
So
say
it
such and
happens
such.
in that way.
That particular scene was needed to explain why or how she's going to get into contact with him. It could have been done better. We all agree that it could have been acceptable.
It wasn't really.
However,
I love the way it was.
I love the way it was put together. Well, the only reason I love the movie, regardless, that director is fantastic, and I can catch it. However, someone else might not catch it. That's the only.
that's what we're talking about.
That's the only like bad part of getting the audience, shaping the audience to what you're doing, and so everyone can catch it, or just that few people who can catch it and explain it to someone else.
Oh, you mean
You
like
need
that?
to base-
Kind of like the. Go ahead, say it. You know what you.
I guarantee I was gonna go somewhere different.
Oh,
What
I was
the
gonna say
time?
like Daniel Tosh's comedy because his
yeah, I was totally.
It's a
Wait,
hit
wait,
and
you
miss to
finished.
some
I was
people,
gonna say
but
exactly
people that
like-
get it, it's funny.
Kind of like at the end where he said, "Let's have a baby for those 2% out there who just did
Yeah,
not
that was-
understand."
I
Like,
guess
oh
that-
wait, they are
He
together.
said, "Do you want to have a baby?"
Doesn't matter.
it's still so heavy-handed. Like
Like in
Just
fact,
wanted to-
people did
just
not.
wanted to be
People,
difficult
I
for
got
once.
that fact that Ian and
Okay.
Louise. Okay, we gotta get together. He's a scientist. She's the teacher. That's explanatory. And for people who wouldn't have got it, that's when that scene was put on there. And you're like, oh, okay, they're together. That's their daughter. He left for such and such.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
A scene a scene that did need to be there was her speaking to her daughter about the virus scene. You didn't explain that.
Cancer?
No, she
We don't know.
said
We don't know.
virus.
She said
that,
virus.
that was
She said-
over information that wasn't used anywhere else. That particular
yeah,
that dialogue
one
did
scene
not need to be
where
there.
she said, "I told him something."
I wasn't ready to hear
Like that part.
about a virus. That
Well, here's the thing.
That part.
The
But like when she
scene.
goes into.
the little girl
The reason why
understand that.
the reason why that scene was necessary though was because it's like, wait, so at the end when we do reveal that Ian and Louise do get together and have a child and everything, towards the beginning scenes to where we get our flashbacks, which for the longest again took me to wonder, why do they keep going back to this daughter? What is so significant about this daughter? It's like, is it a specific time
Arrival to
reason?
Baby Dope.
But anyway,
better become alien from Last of Us. You better do it.
the reason why that scene was necessary is because when people question, but they got together, but now these scenes are saying that they left. why did they leave? That scene explained why.
Why he left her.
The reasoning may not be all that.
But it did, but it didn't.
What? Okay.
I told him something he didn't want to hear, so he left.
Boom.
He couldn't accept it. She said he couldn't accept it.
Well, I'm saying that particular scene is fine, but bringing up the virus that
you know the future
is going to die,
and I can prove that I
leave my daughter.
And you know that I know the future.
She's known this whole time, and she still went and had the baby with him, knowing that this was the inevitable future. That's what he was mad about.
When did they say that?
However, that's what I was saying about the director. He makes you think about, so we will never know what the real thing is.
Kind of like we'll never know the real ending of Prisoners.
Exactly.
Oh my God. Would you stop it? And he said no. I would just let it come to be and let time go the way it's supposed to. That's what he was saying.
Or he'd be more show more emotion or whatever towards.
Yeah.
It's this director, man. I can't wait for whatever his next project is. I have to go see it.
It's Blade Runner.
2049.
I love Blade Runner. Now I have to go see it. Oh my God!
Alright, I guess we covered enough for the film Arrival, wouldn't y'all say?
Yeah.
So if you had to give it your rating, final thoughts.
It's very hard for me to give a movie a 10.
That's a 10. It's great.
You want to give it a 9? I wouldn't say 8.5. It's a big thing for me. I love this. I give it a 9. I give it a 9. I love the movie. I think I caught the whole thing. I think I'll give it a 9, not a full 10, because it was a hit and miss with a few people. And I understand the director, me being immersed with his work already and knowing how I need to think as I process this movie and go about this movie. Some other people who see it for the first time might not catch that.
Understandable.
And I think, a lot of these types of movies like this need to be acceptable for all viewers. Because it's a hit and miss, I'll give it a 9.
Malik?
I give it an 8,000.
Out of 10,000.
So an 8 out of 10. Because it was a thing in that movie. It didn't make me think like Inception made me think, but it really made me think. So I like movies like that where I have to actually put in some work in order to
you have to pay attention.
Right, you can't fall asleep during the movie.
You miss it.
Might as well use the bathroom right now.
Right,
you don't have to use it now.
No refreshments.
The movie starting. We're gonna go see the trailers, but I highly suggest that you go to the restroom now. If you got a large soda, I highly suggest that you don't drink it at all.
Unless it's towards the end.
Yeah, I mean...
I was fine. I had a large soda.
Yeah, but you have a weird bladder.
You don't know that.
You didn't finish it either.
I was guessing. I was hoping you...
Kevin, what about you? What did you
I give it a 9 because the only issue I had with the film was when she got lifted into the ship and the whole scene. I had an issue with the animation. It looked a little weird and a lot of wonky. So, and I don't think that went right. But other than that, everything else was actually pretty spot on.
Okay. I'll say I'll give it an 8 out of 10 because, of course, that ending is still, Did you just shake hands?
I was going to high five, but okay.
Oh. 8 out of 10 because of that ending. Some issues, some flaws that we definitely noticed, but it didn't take you away from the experience at all. We still had a great time. We would definitely see it again, especially just to catch some things that we probably didn't catch the first time.
It's fantastic. I'll see it again.
Right. Loved it. All right, now, if you don't mind, go ahead and tell us where we can find you, Maza.
Find me on Anime Talk, of course. You can also find me on Facebook, Masahiro Kato. You'll see the description below. Just in case you can't see it, it's MASAHIROKATO. Check me out on Steam at Native Masa 2S100. That's about it.
All right, Malik, where can we find you?
I can also be found on Anime Talk. Also, I'm on Facebook. Malik Christie, Malik Dubstepin Christie. Got a little red beanie, little thing that way. It's really cute. Baby dreads at the time. Also, I'm on social media besides Facebook. So literally everything else like Instagram, Twitter, MySpace, Steam, and PSN. All of those are Blackfire 2400, BLACKFIRE 2400.
All right, Kevin, where can we find you?
PlayStation Network, JRUltimateWater, and Facebook, Kevin Ware Jr.
Okay. You can find me on social media at Baroque Baroko. That's BROOQUE, BROKO. And by social media, I mean pretty much everywhere.
Except MySpace.
Except MySpace, definitely.
Oh my god, ain't no MySpace.
Guys, let us know what you think about this. Did we cover the ground for this movie? Did you see the film and agree with our thoughts as well? leave us a comment and tell us other movies that you want us to talk about. Until then, I am your host,